What up, what up? This is Coach Liebs bringing you episode 25 of Coach Talk. This is a late night edition. It's around 9:45 p.m. on Monday night. Generally, I try to record the podcast around noon or 1 o'clock during the day. My normal schedule is I wake up around 6 and I work my butt off until 1 or 2, and then the workday is pretty much over because I have to go up to practice. So I try to normally work to the last possible minute of each workday on Sideline Hustle, and then kind of separate my day into 2 days, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sideline Hustle, 2 p.m. till about 9, 10 o'clock on Don Bosco football. But we lost to St. Joe's this weekend, and I think something humbling about coaching is no matter how successful or unsuccessful you are as a coach, there's never really that moment where I think you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, I got this. I got this whole coaching thing figured out. I'm good here. You can never really settle as a coach. You're always looking for new ways to motivate kids, new ways to teach, new ways to inspire. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now, where I'm the one who has to rest my head on the pillow every night and feel good about the job I'm doing. And I honestly do. I feel good about the progress the receivers have made. I feel good about the way we play. Are we perfect? No. Have we made plenty of mistakes? Millions of mistakes. But I think they play their butts off every day. I think that they're executing at a high enough level for us to be successful, but it's not translating to a whole team-wide success. So I think something that I've asked myself, after the loss on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when I was kind of just thinking, I was like, all right, what can I be doing better from a coaching standpoint? How can I be maximizing my game as a coach? And what more can I bring these kids? Because I just really don't want to let these kids down. So what I decided to do was this week I got into the office, or today at least I'm going to get into the office, about 30, 45 minutes early every single day, and just do some extra preparation, some extra film study, just plan my meetings out, even more so than I already do, and just make sure everything's really squared away so there's no lack of organization and no time wasted. And really try to schedule out every minute of our meeting, every minute of practice, so we're maximizing our time, and I'm doing everything I can to put these kids in the best position possible. The theme of the week that I've been preaching to the kids, after we lost, we came in, had the day off Saturday, came in on Sunday, and the theme for me has just been, let's take the ultimate accountability for this as individuals in this room, as a unit, as wide receivers, and myself as a coach, everyone around. Let's not point fingers. Are there other people that share the blame? We all share the blame. It's a team loss. But let's take the ultimate responsibility for this and put it on ourselves. As me as a coach, it's my fault. I feel like as the receivers coach, I let the team down. I lost the game. In the heart of my heart, do I really feel that way? Like, no. But I think that's the best way for me to go about it, to push myself to be better if I take that responsibility on my shoulders. And it's something I'm pushing my kids to do. And so, kind of what I was telling them is find 2 or 3 things that you can do better this week. Whether it's the way you rehab, the way you stretch before practice, the way you prepare your mind before practice, the way you study film. Like, what is there in our process each week that we can improve? And for me to ask that of them, I also have to reciprocate and do the same myself. And that's what I'm trying to do with getting to practice a little bit earlier. So long story short, that's why I'm recording this at 9 o'clock, at 9:45. I don't expect that to do that every day this week. But it was just a day where I got caught up in kind of getting the Sideline Hustle going on a Monday. All of a sudden, I had to leave early and decided that Coach Talk was going to be the thing I sacrificed today and just get it recorded later. We had a pretty good practice today. It was a tough loss. Kids are down, but I don't feel like there's a lot of finger pointing. It was a good practice. Similarly, where I was saying before how there's never that moment where you're like, I got this as a coach. We as a coaching staff don't feel that way, and we tried to restructure some things in practice and restructure the way we practice to bring some extra juice and hopefully breed better results. We did some more good-on-good competition and just tried to get the energy levels up high and make it so it's more ones versus ones, starters versus starters, and there's no discrepancy between age or talent that may happen when you're playing against the scout team. So we didn't necessarily go against the defensive look that we're going to see, although the team we're playing, DePaul Catholic, is very similar to our defense, so there was a lot of carryover. We just had a lot of high-energy competition, and I think that was good. So that's our mindset for the week, is just to try to, how do we create a spark? And the very specific way that I did it for the receivers was was hold yourself accountable. We all made mistakes during this game, and every single receiver, including myself as their coach, made mistakes during the game. So let's focus our attention on how can we improve our process during the week to prevent those mistakes from happening. Because if we don't make the 7, 8, 9, 10 mistakes we made during the game as a unit, then maybe the outcome's different. Or if we, take pride in trying to eliminate those mistakes during the week, well, hopefully that energy and that attitude carries over to the rest of the team. And at every position on the team can prevent 2 or 3 mistakes from happening or make 1 or 2 or 3 more plays. That's going to make a huge difference. But I think it starts with ourselves. It can't start from why was this play called? Why aren't they blocking for us? Why is the defense doing it can't start from any of that stuff. And I think it's typical of young kids to kind of get that way. And it's been my job to aggressively beat it out of them, and I feel good about where their attitudes are at. And I actually fielded a couple outside questions, guys just asking me who don't really know the program, asking me, are you worried about the kids, not buying in? Like, you're 3-4, you've had 2 tough losses in a row, are you worried about it? And it was funny because I hadn't even really thought about it because this is such a family, especially in the wide receiver room. And, it's just when I've shown how important this is to me, the kids have reciprocated that over and over and over. Like, we really, truly have built a family. And something I've said on this podcast before is I really believe that my greatest strength as a coach is my ability to build a family amongst my players and in my position room. And so it's something I didn't even really think of, because the same way that it's instinctual where you get in a fight with your brother or your sister or your mother, your father, whatever, there's unless, except in extreme circumstances, there's never really that moment of like, oh, I'm giving up now, or I've had enough, or, I'm done with this. Maybe for a fleeting second, but never in like the long term. You pick up the pieces, you figure out what you got to figure out, and you continue loving and supporting your family. And I think I don't think there's been any thought of not buying in or is this worth it in the receiver room. We just want to get better. We just want to win games. We want to continue fighting. We want to score more touchdowns. We want to catch more passes. We want to block better. Like, we are just focused on how can we do things better. And it is because it's family. And I guess, to really put the nail on the head as to why I think it's so important to build family, this is a big reason why. When you're going through adversity, it's nice for me as a coach not to have to worry about, man, what do I tell these kids? Like I never have to worry about the message I tell my kids as far as, hey guys, we got to keep fighting. Like, that's not the narrative ever. It's never, hey, let me motivate you to keep fighting. It's like, listen, this is what we got to do to be better. We love each other, so let's get it done. And I try to do a lot more teaching of the nuances of our craft this week, or at least today and going forward, more so than motivating them to play hard. Like, these kids play their butts off. They play so hard on Friday nights. They would give anything to win. So I'm trying to do more. Whereas I think in the beginning of the year, it was essential that I teach them the expectation of the energy level to play at with so many young kids. Now that we're later in the season, everyone has some experience. Now it's, all right, here are the technical things or the aspects of our craft that are hurting us, and let's get better at these skills or these techniques. Less so than you got to fight harder, because I know they're going to bring it on Friday. I want to make sure that mentally we're straight and we understand what the new techniques are we have to use to improve ourselves. Monday's usually just a day where I try and set the tone for the week. Just looking at my notes here, I've got a lot of good things planned for the week as far as Coach Talk is concerned. I have a couple really good topics, but if you have things you want to hear about, if there are things I haven't addressed yet on this show, or continue to send in your question and answer. It's been great getting the questions and answers from you guys, whether you DM me on Twitter or Instagram, or you can email us at thesidelineHustle@gmail.com. But if you have topic requests, please tell them to me, send them to me, and I'll try and get those answered. I think we've been pretty good so far about trying to get all these questions addressed one way or another, whether it's the Instagram story or it's on the Coach Talk episodes, just trying to make sure that I am serving as many people as possible, serving as many receivers as possible, and making any knowledge or advice I can give as widespread as possible to help people. So that's all I got. It's going to be a great week. I'm really excited for the week just to attack it and get back into a rhythm. So that's it. Episode 25 of Coach Talk. This is Coach Liebs. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.